Welcome back, everyone. We took our 2-hour break, and here we are with part 2 of episode 71.
See, when you get really good at role playing, you just imagine that you took a really long break,
Ow.
but it's only
too
5
nice.
minutes in real time.
Yeah.
In fantasy time, we took a full long rest. So
Yeah.
8
In
hours
the break,
go by in no
I
time.
burned the shit out of my taste bud, yeah, I guess taste buds. Yeah.
I thought you said
made
of your
some-
Facebook, and I was like, well, that's a new app.
I
should
burned
get
the
that.
shit on my Facebook.
I was wondering why you unfriended me,
Yeah.
because you burned the shit out of it. All right, well, let's catch up. So, Selihafa, Ramus Creel, Berg, you are in the tower, and you're actually resting, I guess. Yeah, like over most of the course of that night after the battle. So you're waking up kind of like late afternoon. There are servants that work for the tower that bring you food and water. And it's like you wake up and you're in like a proper bed and you ate dinner and you're not like on the road or in a dungeon somewhere. And there's like beds and fresh food and they're treating you like you're not like monsters, and you don't have to worry about being ambushed in the night. So you all wake up, and what do you do?
First thing I do, I want to walk over to
ahead.
Ramus, and as we're like getting ready, so I'm like stuffing all my oddities from my spells and whatnot into the bag, and I kind of turn my head over to Ramus, when they said to send a message, it would go through with divination spells. Are those working?
I haven't tested it myself. Things in heaven seemed a little turbulent of late. I don't know if things have evened out yet or not.
What happens if you take away the prayer part of that and use a reagent of sort and kind of, you know.
Need a little more, Sully.
If you were to remove the divine part of the spell, but offer up a material component for it, would it still work?
So you're saying
I want to bypass
If I
heaven and
just-
speak to someone, yes. But I don't have a scrying bowl, which is usually how this works.
Well, if I journey through travels and become more experienced over time, I would be able to perform such a task for you once a day, surely.
I understand what you're saying. They don't keep a scrying bowl around here. What if, I don't know, heaven's busy. How do they send a message?
Well, messages are usually fine. Divination's a little different. A little more involved.
It's so slow waiting for physical goods to move from one place to another, though.
Well, unless you have an angel carry it.
Do you know an angel?
Well, no, but
Well, then
Would be
why would you
nice.
bring that up, Ramus? I was excited for a second. Fair enough. I'll figure something out.
what are you trying to send out of curiosity? What's this? You seem very excited about this. What is it? You don't get excited often.
Well, I was
Before Sully has an opportunity to answer. So Sully, as you're about to be like, well, you hear a knock on the door.
Did you require a servant this morning, Ramus?
Didn't request anything. Where did you order food?
No.
Sorry, Lord Berg.
Shut up, Ramus.
Hey, I'm just giving you the respect that you deserve.
So as you're yammering, you hear again the insistent like knocking on the door.
Well, Berg, you're closest, so kind of just wait and stare.
Is the door locked at him?
Yeah. You have there's a bar on the inside, so no one will accidentally come in while you're changing or whatever.
It wasn't locked. Berg was just gonna say to come in. And Berg,
no, you have to
I guess,
get up.
just gets up.
Okay, so you get up, and as you walk over to the door, every step towards the door, you at the first step is I smell something. The second step is you're like, I definitely smell something. Third step is, what is that? And then when you get to the door, you're like, oh, I know that smell. The pungent smell of pipe tobacco, a very particular kind, is wafting about the door as you approach it.
Okay, so before I open it, I just look back to the others and like, it's him.
Oh, well, open it. He might know where a scrying bowl is.
And Berg opens.
Okay, so you slide the latch, open the door, pull the door open, and yes, it is indeed Hazan. He is dressed in a fashion entirely unusual to you. He is wearing long black robes. He has a scarf or like a sash of this sort of cloth of gold that he's got around his shoulders. He has his usual hat and his pipe, but he also has like a necklace of enormous like ebony beads around his neck, like prayer beads. He looks like the world's most ostentatious monk. Like he looks like a monk personally hired to attend to like the immortals themselves. He's dressed like beautifully. Everything that he's wearing looks like it could buy like a house in any part of the city. And he is smiling. He is smiling like he was just released from prison. And he grins at you and he says, "Hello, boys. Are you going to invite me in?" And he takes a long drag off the pipe he's holding.
Berg looks him up and down because he hasn't seen him dressed like this. Just goes, "Heaven clothes, eh?"
He nods and kind of gestures like with a bow. "Yes, Berg. When one goes to heaven, one dresses the part. Perhaps you'll be lucky enough to go there yourself. Maybe you can come as my bodyguard next time. I hear you've got some things done."
Berg just makes way so that we kind of steps inward, so that we.
Yeah, he comes in, and he walks over. And what, Sully and Ramus, what are you doing?
I think I'm trying not to just immediately interrupt whatever he's about to say and ask him if he knows where a scrying bowl is. So I'm just kind of it's on the tip. I'm
Right.
trying to find the right social cue to enter into the conversation, but haven't found it just yet.
I think I'm just smoking a
Ramus?
pipe in the corner. Smoking a pipe.
Okay. So he looks around the room and he says, "Wasn't there supposed to be 4 of you? Where's your Dragonborn friend?"
Well, indeed.
He'll be back soon, I assume. I put my hand and look for the card.
You assume he's gone on some errand?
Well, Ramus pissed him off, to be blunt about it.
Yes, well, that'll happen.
At least we think. I don't know. You see, when Ramus decided to. Well, no, go. You tell the story. Let's see how you spin this.
It's not spinning, it's the truth. These beggars and peasants were begging and clawing at us for things, gold and value. I told them the prayer of the whatever name it is. And the power of the tower smited them for the audacity of holding on to things.
Ah, yes. The tower does like to smite things. Peasants, kings, it doesn't matter. Everyone in this city is going to be sucked down into the sand soon enough. Things are moving. And I have to say, thanks to your help, you did a wonderful job with the Aharisa, whatever it is you did. Congratulations on that part.
Well, fortunately, it wasn't exactly us. The Mara were responsible for killing them all.
Well, what was in that message you sent with us, by the way? That's what caused the Mara to appear.
What? The scroll I gave you? No. That was an artifact of revelation. There's no way.
Well, it happened, and then I put a bracer on it. But these guys took it off.
Why are you saying that so quietly?
Because I don't want Berg to hear it. He's still... I kind of like side-eye Berg. He's probably
Yeah, and
just
Berg,
like
what are you doing there? He's talking about the bracer.
He's probably just dead staring me.
Yeah, it seems that way.
Yeah. I don't want him to recollect on that.
The bracers are barbaric things. We've been discussing them. We've been discussing a lot of things. And he takes his hat off and he hangs it on one of the posts of the bed that Berg, you were sleeping in. He does the things, pinches his bridge of his nose. And he's like, I haven't slept in a week. I've been in heaven. And you might think, oh, Hazan, a lovely time you must be having. Drinking the wine of the gods, eating ambrosia. But no, they're all bureaucrats up there. Fuck the gods. Fuck them in whatever godly orifices they've got. If I never have to go back to heaven ever again, it would be too soon. Down here is where I belong. Down here with you. And he grins at Berg, destroying things. Like this fucking city. So, how long have you been here?
What was so important that it took you away from burning the city? Surely, leaving now would have been most...
As you can imagine, the city is very important to some people. There are powers aligned against us who are unhappy that we convinced judgment to turn against justice, like siblings fighting. So the other Arcana and their servants, they're unhappy with us, but we'll show them. We'll show them all soon enough. I have a plan.
Is it normal to denounce the gods as you just did?
You've never been to heaven if you think the gods are worth a damn. Lawyers, bankers. And he looks like he's tasted something foul.
Sounds quite nice. Order and sounds... No, I've never been to heaven.
Yes, that's the plan. Order, but it doesn't work that way. They're all corrupt, graft, bribes. It's disgusting. I hate it there.
Huh. Ramus, do you still pride yourself on your religion after hearing this?
I don't serve heaven. I serve the Arcana itself.
It's very confusing.
You see? Faith is a complicated matter, but we're not here to discuss theology. Have you come back to help me? Or just gloat over your success? Yes, I'm very proud of you. You've done well. The Aharisa are crumbled like a pile of bones. So what
and
now?
We stopped the chariot from destroying the tower last night.
Good. We've yet use of this place. So what? I have use of you. Do you wish to hear it?
Sure.
So while this conversation is going on, Kalimat, where do we see you? The last we saw you, you were at the bridge by the Temple to the Star. You're in Temple Plaza, minus a few temples. Where do you go? What do you do?
Do the coins of the realm have like a heads and a tails?
Yeah. They're mostly minted with the visage of the various hero emperors of the Court of Coins, and then on the other side is the crest of the court. Some of the courts, like Wands, has its own mints and stuff, but the coins are all interchangeable throughout the courts.
Okay, you see him stop where he was without having taken a step yet. Pulls out a coin. I'm sorry, what was on the other side? There was Emperor.
It would be like the face. I mean, I think in this case, it's probably for folks who have been watching the show. On one side, you see the stern, slightly angry visage of the mustachioed Emperor Fei, and then
Okay.
on the other is the like crest of the Court of Coins.
Okay. So I take out the coin, I look at it, and I just kind of mutter to myself, well, here's your chance, Arcana. Show me what you want me to do. The crest or the Emperor. Bing. And let's just say that. Well, let me see here.
If you want to flip a coin and roll 20, you can go /roll D2.
Yep, that's what I was doing. Yep. Okay, so one is the Emperor and the Farang. 2 is the Tower and my companions.
Okay.
Okay. Perfect. I know what I'm doing now.
Okay. All right.
Okay.
So
I walk toward the
flip
tower.
the coin, and it lands in your palm, and we see you walk to the tower. Okay. All right.
Yep.
So the servants of the tower recognize you from like previous visits, from your being here. So you're allowed into the house at the end of all. And like I described before, I think we get this sort of slow motion sort of sequence of Kalimat returning, the doors opening, you walking into the tower and seeing people like girded for battle, maybe some of them leaving, some of them coming back. The place seems like alive with this sort of martial energy. And you enter the tower and you head up to meet with your friends. So
sounds good.
Let me know. Someone like directs you. A priest will show you where they are. You let me know. You go ahead and enter into this scene with Hazan and stuff whenever you like. You can just be like, I open the door and I come in. So we cut back to the room and Hazan is sitting. He's finished with his pipe. It's sitting sort of smoking on a table nearby. And he's sitting in the chair. Sully, Ramus, and Berg, are you like what does this tableau look like? Are you like sitting on the bed? Does somebody have a chair? Is somebody standing? Anybody pacing? Like what does that moment look like for the group of you?
We're probably standing, maybe leaning against the wall.
Mm-hmm.
I think I'm pacing around the room with my pipe, just listening to everything he says.
Yeah, I'm sitting like Indian style on the ground.
Okay. So Hazan says to you, how familiar are you with the gods that came before, with the Accords, the creation of the Arcana?
I've seen the books about it and read them, but it's been a while since I've had a conversation.
It was a strange, strange time before we had the Arcana to serve. Man was no better than an ape. Any other beast. We had no enlightenment to serve us. No purpose. The fountain was simply everywhere. The gods, benevolent, foolish, but benevolent though they are, decided that humanity was special somehow. That they would make for us a path ahead. A shining path, and each step along this path, the Arcana, to whom we are now bound, to whom we owe our enlightenment. And so we serve. But there were some who did not agree, some gods who said humanity was not worth the effort, that heaven was not worth to be built, that instead we should continue to go on worshiping the trees, the dirt, the rivers, and the mountains. But they lost that fight, and they went to sleep, as gods do unworshipped. Yes, there are some who still hear the whispers of their dreams and in those power, but they are pretenders to heaven's might. But a sleeping beast may still be of some use. I have agents in the city destroying a network that holds one of these creatures in slumber. His name is Maru Bhavati. He is the mountain on which the city is built. Old, very old and powerful. It will take more than just shaking this net to wake him up. We need a sacrifice. I need the immortals. And for that, who better than you? Do you know, and he turns to you, Berg, do you know they worship you? Some of the orcs in the lower city, they call you the Destructor. A gray warrior with a hand of stone and fire. I've seen them. You could go there, enlist their aid, perhaps.
And that's when I come in.
Ramus, you're... Yeah, right. And so you enlist their aid, perhaps, and then the door creaks open.
Kalimat? Is that you?
Enlisting aid is something that I find myself very good at. Hello, everyone. Good to see you all alive and well. I see that you were at work in the courtyard.
I stand up and like go to hug, but I don't really hug, so it's just like an awkward
shuffle.
Like, yeah, like I put my arms around him and kind of like, I think this is how it's done. It's good to see you. Where did you go? And I pick out the card in my pocket and hand it to him.
All in due time. Hassan, I see you are looking like someone dipped you in gold. Very nice to see you again. I would say my friend, but I know you don't have any.
He squints at you like, you fucker.
I share a hearty laugh. Berg, how's the arm? Good. Looks good. Thank you. And Ramus. I would say it's good to see you, but it's never is, so...
Well,
what are we
thank
doing?
you.
What's the plan? Who are we enlisting?
Or just staring at him.
The room is suddenly full of enthusiasm.
Yeah. Hassan, continue, please. And I'm kind of just side-eyeing Kalimat the entire time.
These old gods, they're hungry, slumbering restfully, but can be awoken with the right sacrifices. I've been observing one of late. Before all this, Black Serpent, one of the eldest, venomous, terrible, shifting in its sleep. And that's where I got the idea. If this night snake could be awakened, why not something bigger? Something that would serve our purpose. But to do so, we need a blood sacrifice. And blood becomes more powerful the older it gets. And I'm not about to throw myself into the volcano, so... what greater symbol do we have than those earthbound immortals who rule this doomed city? They've sealed themselves away in that bubble, but I know where a key can be found. I just need someone to go and get it.
Where is this?
I raise my hand.
He says, the immortals are wily, clever. They hid it with the only people they knew would keep it safe. It's in the devil's vault in the lower city. The devil, those who cling most to these things, this place, will never win them over, so they all have to die. But if we can get the key, it's a foregone conclusion. We awaken Maru Bhavati. He thrashes about, and the city's doomed. He goes back to sleep, and all that's left is a bunch of broken golden armor. Our friends go back home to wherever they came from, and creation is saved. Then we turn to the star, and the star rebuilds, but that's not my problem, nor yours. Your problem is destruction. I need you to find me that key. Get it out of the hands of the devil. Bring it here, and then we'll talk about capturing the immortals.
Sounds easy enough.
Well, what if he doesn't go back to sleep? And continues to thrash about. You realize what that would mean, right?
There is only desert for miles and miles around here. Sure, some nomadic tribes, some people that wander, but omelets, eggs, you know how it goes. Heaven will sort them out. They'll be rewarded for their play in this. He will go back to sleep. Maru Bhavati does not have a place in this world any longer. And besides, by the time he's done thrashing around, anyone around to worship him, well, they'll be back in heaven's halls, waiting for reincarnation. Gods need worshippers to live. Besides, Salihava, this isn't our problem. Our responsibility is to break things, not to worry about whether they're going to be rebuilt. Let the star clean the mess up. That's their job.
Well,
when you said wherever they came from, does that mean you have no knowledge of their culture, their race, their place of origin, anything?
None of these things matter. Only saving creation from the things that threaten it. Whether it's the Mara, these Farang, whatever. This is our responsibility. Burn that which must be burnt. Keep it out of their hands. If the city could be saved, it would be by now. The plan's in motion. The ley lines are being damaged as we speak. We just need a slap in the face to wake Mara Bhavati up.
So you're saying you do not know?
He shrugs. Life is not knowing. Leave your faith in the hands of heaven.
Well, then why don't we all go without weapons or armor? Does that sound fun? Leave it in the fate. Leave it in the hands of fate.
He grins and he says, have you seen the pit downstairs? If you're done with this life, throw it in there. But if you want to help, or if you're just looking for some more skulls to crack, and he looks at Berg, I have plenty of opportunities.
And did you say vault?
He laughs, and he says, yes, Ramus, I did. You think the devil would not just keep their valued possessions around? Yes, it's a vault. The key we need is in there, but other things as well. Treasures, magic. And he looks at Sully. Secrets. I'm sure you'll find something that interests you.
That alone has my interest.
And what will you be doing?
Preparing the sacrifice. I haven't seen the Immortals in a very, very long time, and I am quite excited to meet with them again. And there's a moment here where, like, every time you've seen Hazan before, he wears the guise of a man, right? He exhibits human emotions. Being around him feels like being around a person, albeit a powerful one. But when he says that, that disguise slips a little. Like, you all kind of, like, shudder simultaneously.
Can I make an insight check as to what he meant by that? Like, there was like a...
Yeah, totally.
Hey, not
21.
bad.
Hazan has a score to settle, a personal score to settle with the Immortals. He probably thought of this plan because he knew it would hurt them or give him an angle on them. Not that it's not a good plan. He's still, like, devout and wants to do the thing. He's still an idealist for the temple. But something about this plan was chosen because he has a personal vendetta against the Immortals.
Keep that nugget in myself.
Yeah.
Fine. Where do we start?
Well, in the lower city, of course. Find the vault, crack it open, take the key and bring it back to me. I will do other work here and in heaven as I am needed to prepare.
Before we go, do you happen to have a scrying bowl here?
He squints at you. Why would you need something like that?
I need to contact home, as it were.
I may be able to pass a message along at some speed. Where is home? What do you want to tell them?
I'll write it down for you. Does that work? It's quite a long message.
He nods. Of course.
I'll have that before we go. And I immediately, find the nearest desk and get pen and paper and start writing it.
Right, pull a stool over and just start writing.
Yeah.
So he stands and he says, "I'll be upstairs at the summit. I have paperwork to file." And he turns to leave, unless anybody has anything else to ask him.
Before you go, Hassan, my friends are curious as to where I was and what I did and where I went. I went to speak with, I'm guessing, one of the leaders, if not the leader, of the Farang.
Guys, stop. You did what?
Yeah. So there's that moment where you're like, I spoke with the leader of the Farang, and when you say that, the shot goes to Berg, and Berg has a sort of flickering shadow behind him. Berg, you can feel Tulpa listening through your ears, watching through your eyes.
I met with him because I was the one who freed him.
Hazan rolls his eyes slightly, oh, you fucking dummy. What did I fucking told you not to mention this.
And you know this. And I had to meet him. Because that is my path. I've learned that you cannot stray from the path that the Arcana has laid out before you. And so I'm resigned to follow that path. Fate has pointed me back to you, back to my companions. I want you to know that the Farang are very interested in Berg. His arm, his being, just like we've seen many times in the past, and with these orcish cultists that we saw battling with the chariot's weapons. He tasked me with a mission, and inside of my head, he made the mission sound like it was something that I would want to do. It was like a spell of some sort of his presence. It was like an ant looking up at a boot. And he let me go. Like I didn't matter. And that's where I was. Do you have any idea why they would be so interested in Berg?
I do. Something's been wrong with Berg for a very long time. Years now. Ever since I came back to him, he's been different. Something is off. And you've been talking to something, haven't you, Berg?
Yes, this is not a secret. I've told you. You know of this. Don't talk to me with that tone.
Sorry, Lord Berg. I apologize.
Go on. You have more to say.
This thing's giving you...
Oh, him. Yes.
Go ahead.
This thing's giving you gifts. What does it want in exchange? You've never told us that.
I don't even really know. Once to help fight the Farang, it seems to know them intimately. I don't know that I can.
Or does like this, hoping he's doing it right.
Trust him. But
Yeah, right. You're like,
Yeah, exactly. It's like
trust.
like trying to.
But he's there. And he has helped me. So, if I can't get rid of them, I at least must live with it for now. I am keeping no secrets from you or anyone.
It's not you we worry about, Berg. It's this thing that's giving you whatever that is, and I point to your weapon. It seems powerful, and it's using you. And I worry that you aren't the most smart creature. You might be tricked into doing something.
Fair. Well, I tell you what. Why don't we try to ask him? Tulpa, do you want to talk to these people?
Berg just like says that for a second.
so you hear a voice sort of whispering across the back of your mind. Tulpa's presence is subdued, even when you're in your rage, even when you're in the sort of grip of it. But he's exerting the energy to sort of speak with you, and he says, "I want only to protect you, Berg, you and your people. They would not understand."
Yes, Berg. Yeah.
Can you even talk to them if you wanted? Or is it through me you would?
I could, perhaps, were you to turn yourself over to me. Give me control.
I don't know
I will
about
not.
that one.
Yeah, and he says, I will not do this without your permission. Your free will is more important to me than you can possibly know. For now, I am yours alone. A ghost. Quiet. You must speak for me, elsewise give up that most important gift, your agency.
You understand.
Always.
They think you control me. Maybe you do. At least a little. I don't know enough of you to trust you fully yet. But I will tell them about you. There are no secrets amongst those in this room.
You are your own man, Berg. Do as you see fit. I am merely your passenger.
That Berg talks out loud to them.
This Tulpa can speak to you, but only if I let him have control, which I will not do. At least not yet. Claims they're a passenger, wanting to help us in this fight.
Help us how?
Adam, real quick, didn't he talk about like wanting to get to the fountain?
Yeah. He mentioned being taken to, like, taken to heaven and like the power of the fountain and how it could like help him help you basically.
Okay, so Berg thinks for a second. When Berg says help him, how? Help how?
Before this trooper mentioned getting to the fountain, the power there in heaven to destroy the Farang. That's what it wants. Take that as you will.
Saying that to like Hassan. He's still there, right? He hasn't left.
Yeah. He's just listening like quietly and kind of like thinking about what you're saying.
Any questions?
Berg's just looking around at them.
Yeah.
Have you asked
Berg's
it
getting real
to
tired of
leave?
this whole like possession thing.
You asked it to leave?
Well, so far it hasn't done anything to harm me. It's given me a powerful weapon. Help save me. Would you ask that to leave, Remus? How about I tell your treasure to leave? How would that feel for you?
That would be sad. I like my treasure.
There you go.
Well, it's your choice, Berg. Is it worth the cost? It wants something from you. And I don't think it's being honest with you.
Yes, probably not. But for now, it is helping. And says my free will is important. You are right to be worried, I think. For now it helps. How about you, son? What do you say?
Kazan looks at the group of you and he says, I have my plan. If you want to help, help. If you don't, destroy something on your way out.
You pretend you don't care, but there is something else there. Why you keep me around? Perhaps one day you'll tell me.
You're good at what you do. You swing a hammer and you swing it hard. I've got work to do. Decide if you're going to help or not. I'll be in my office. And he leaves.
What mission did they give you?
I was to bring Berg before them.
Did they say
I was
why?
to convince or cajole or kidnap or something to bring Berg to the leader of the Farang, the prisoner from the oubliette.
Did they say for what reason?
Nope. Do they ever? Would they?
So Berg, you hear the voice of Tulpa when Kalimat says that. It is not you they desire, but me. I am an enemy of these people, Berg. You cannot fall into their hands. I cannot. Please, do not allow this.
I have no intention of you or I being any sort of prisoner. You're in my mind. You'll know what's important to me. Kalimat, that sounds dumb.
Okay.
What do you
Well,
think
we're
they'll
not
do
doing
with
it
me?
now. It doesn't matter. We're not doing it now. We have a mission. Let's go to the vault. And then get the key. And then unleash this terrible thing that will destroy the entire city. Why? Because that's our fate. I'm ready. Let's go. and I start walking out the fucking door.
We need a few
Right,
things
like if
before
that's
you
what God
go.
wants.
Yeah, like he's gone.
Yeah. I mean, or just like looks at the others. Like, is there anything else? Not move.
Yeah. So Hazan, just to sort of sum up, Hazan's plan, the plan of the tower, the way they're going to finish the job, is to get a hold of the immortals by way of stealing a key from the vault, the Devil's Vault, that will break the shield that we saw before, right? The shield that the rocks are breaking off of. Allow you access, or someone access to the immortals' inner sanctum. Get your hands on the immortals, and then sacrifice them in some ritual that will awaken the mountain what sleeps, which will destroy the city, ostensibly with lava and earthquakes and terrible apocalypse type shit. That is the tower's plan. It relies on getting a hold of the immortals as a sacrifice, which relies on getting into the vault and getting that key. However, your PCs and role-playing games, so you can do whatever you want. That is simply what Hazan has put before you as the tower's plan.
Right.
If you choose not to undertake the mission, he will attempt to accomplish it himself with other agents. Whether that will succeed or not, hard to say. What do you want to do?
I think like Callie leaves the room, and I'm still. This entire time, I've just been figuring out the questions that I want to ask Berg, and I turn to him and. Does this thing inside of you know these other beings here in the city? The ones that Kali spoke with?
The Farang.
Yes.
Yes.
Has he said that how that relationship was formed?
He said they want him. They must know about him. Him being with me
Did they say, or
cannot be for good.
did he say why or what he has done to acquire their interest?
He is a
Or like thinks really hard.
desert
A dessert?
left.
He was left
He
behind.
left them.
He left them.
Deserter. Right?
Yes, I understand. Can you communicate with him if the hammer's not on you? Is that the conduit?
I
Yeah, I
don't
mean,
know.
like you're closest to him when you're in your rage, right? The two of you
Right.
move as one when you're enraged. Otherwise, it's a strain, right? Like I think you've started to develop like a headache now, even just from him talking to you. So you can feel it behind your eyes, this sort of sharp pain. It's a lot of like effort to communicate with him, but you
Yeah.
probably could on purpose, though it wouldn't be pleasant.
Yeah. Berg responds.
I can talk to it. I hear and speak to him most clearly when I do my thing.
Berg makes like the. Yeah.
Berg smash. Yeah.
Berg, I'm going to try something. Is that okay with you?
Depends on what it is.
Going to take my left arm and place it on your shoulder.
Are you sure you don't want to bite it?
That I misinterpreted what Ramus was saying. It's not important. Berg, can I like have my arm stretched out. May I?
Yes.
I like put my arm on Berg's shoulder to see if I can in some way like connect or feel or know his presence of Tulpa at all.
Yeah, I mean, using what? Simply like
Just to-
physically touching him?
Yeah,
Or
just
do
to
you-
see if
Fucking
physical
magic,
contact.
yo.
No, just to see if like
straight
physical
magic.
contact.
puts his hands on your shoulder. So you're dressed in your like, because you're kind of like woken up into this conversation. So you're in like a sleeping outfit. You're in your like dressing gown, your nighty night outfit. And yeah, Sully just puts his hands on your muscly, scarred, knotted shoulders.
Yeah, I close my eyes and just kind of
gives you a
like
little-
ask if Tulpa's there.
Yeah, I don't know. Berg's in pretty good shape. You don't really glean any additional information.
Okay.
He's a muscly dude.
Dude's fucking ripped, dude.
Yeah,
I
got
let
them good
go.
shoulders.
I let go and ask.
Berg does not skip arm day.
Okay. I let go. Berg, can you ask if I can speak with him?
Yeah. He seemed only be able to speak with you verbally to me, as in they take over. I am not there yet.
No, don't do that. That would be unwise. There's probably a way to speak with him, but we don't have the tools here, so.
I can relay messages. Just
Yeah,
know
like Ramus, you know, here and there, like people get possessed sometimes. This is just like a thing that happens. You know, sometimes they'll go to the wrong part. Yeah, they'll go to the wrong part of the dark woods, and like a weird forest spirit will possess them, or like somebody will die and their ghost will get all caught up and not reincarnate properly, and they'll like possess their granddaughter or some shit like this. It happens. There are rituals to exercise, you know, these
It
things,
happens,
you
you
know.
know.
It does, you know, like there's a way that things are supposed to be, but sometimes spirits and ghosts and shit don't obey. So they're like, that's probably where your head goes, like, oh well, if he's possessed, there might be ways around it.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Something like an exorcism, prayer, or ritual of that
Yeah,
nature.
you might be able to set up a ritual that could like temporarily or permanently like exorcise a passenger spirit that's hanging onto Berg.
There are tales of removing things from people,
Wow.
prayers and rituals, you know, hauntings, Mara possession. These things happen sometimes.
Ramus, I never said I wanted to remove it. Berg, do you want to remove this passenger?
right now. No, it does not seem smart.
Bird, can you ask it one thing for me?
It can
Is it-
hear you.
Is it one of them, or is it something different from them, the ones that are invading?
Well, is it?
There's a long pause, a pregnant pause. You can like feel the sort of like thought,
Mm-hmm.
and then you hear Tulpa's voice say, "Are you the same as the orcs that we met in the desert, or those that dwell in the Undercity? Are you as the slaves that suffer in the mines of the dwarves? I think not. I've turned my back on those people."
Yes and no.
So something like a turncoat or a traitor or someone who abandoned his people for whatever reason.
It seems this one took a different path. Is that it?
For now.
And why doesn't it have a physical form? That's the weird part.
I don't know, Ramus.
Berg, I think he was
Wait,
just speaking
wait,
aloud. He was not.
Come to think of it, like, have we seen any Farang like other than their armor? Like, have we seen like bodies of Farangs?
Mm-mm. Calumet saw the prisoner, but only in his dragonborn form.
What if none of them have form? This is how they exist. They possess things. Armor, machines, people.
It's a good theory.
Maybe. We haven't seen one's body.
It's too bad the magician's library got burned down, because there's some books in there that could probably help you figure that out.
Yeah. I'll see what I can find out about that, Ramus. Do some studying, perhaps when we find a new city.
Yes.
And I walk back in. Are we going?
Right, because you went out in the hall.
We're
and
planning your
kept talking.
birthday party, Callie. Go away.
What day is it?
I wanted to go. They had questions.
Questions. Not a good idea. Fate will guide us.
Did he say it that exact way, all sarcastic?
I was gonna say I really like Calumet's huh? Yeah? Is that how I'm supposed to do it? Fuck you. All right, cool. Let's just go.
Yep. I'm fucking embracing it as much as I can, bro.
It's so good. But in a really snarky way, which I like.
Only way I could.
It's so good. I like it.
We can go in one moment. I need to finish this letter. It shouldn't take more than a couple of minutes.
And Callie, I do need to speak to you for a minute.
Oh, yes, I handled your problem
Okay.
with Ramus, by the way, colleagues.
No. I need to... It is about that. It is about that, but I need to talk to you.
He said he would pay you back. And I put my head up and smile and go back to writing.
Yes, let's step out into the hallway so these guys can finish whatever they're doing. Ramus, after you.
What are you writing in that letter?
That's what you hear.
What is Selihafa? What language do turtles speak natively? Is it Aquan?
Yeah. So everything's
a language
written in
that the
bubbles, probably.
I was gonna say the written form would have to survive. Does Aquan even have a written form? I'm gonna look up primordial. But anyway, I'm just nerding out about your character's language stuff.
I would think it's different levels of bubble, bubble writing, bubble pinship.
He's just sitting there as he's writing, the
It just
verbal
looks like I'm drawing
component of it.
circles. Yeah.
The verbal component is him going
Well, Aquan is a dialect of primordial. Okay, so it's a dialect of primordial. Primordial would have been written probably in it uses the dwarven script. There you go. Okay, so you're writing in dwarvish. You're using dwarven letters.
Oh, okay.
Thanks, Dungeons and Dragons,
There
for
you go.
thinking about this shit, because you knew I was going to have to.
which
It's
means
written
I
in
can read it.
Berazad. Well, you recognize the letters, but you wouldn't recognize the words. So you
That's
could
true.
you
I
could
can
phonetically read it. You could just be
I
like
can speak it. So I can maybe pick out.
Osberzoom. Yeah. So yeah, it's written in Berazad, which is also the language, the alphabet used for abyssal, which is strange. Why are the dwarven letters from the abyss? Cool. Okay, so yeah, you are writing this. You're writing this letter in dwarven script using Aquan intonation. And what are you writing?
I'm writing to my my master, Tallulah, the female turtle, who kind of basically I was her apprentice at one time. And I'm going through it's a very in-depth, I was in the city of Brass. I ran into I traveled here with a dragonborn named Calumet. We met Berg, who I sought after in his foul-mouthed priest Ramus. We went into a wizard's sanctum and came out in the middle of the
My
desert.
story begins when I was a boy.
It's very
I hatched from an egg.
It's very
Right,
detailed
okay.
throughout all that.
I like it. Okay.
So you want to hear a story?
Okay, so you lay out basically what's going on, and then And then what? What is your
tor-
like once you've informed Tallulah of the situation?
Yeah, I get to the retelling of the battle, the most recent battle outside of the tower, and basically say like it is at the end of it I say it is through these actions and these adventures that it has dawned upon me that this illusion magic that you have taught me is not cutting or not working out for this adventure. I'm wishing to perhaps study a different school.
Why did you teach me this bullshit magic? I can make imaginary people and kind of illusions. Yeah, okay. So you're like I'm ill-equipped for the realities of this world of surface dwellers.
Yeah. Like I've mostly been in fights, I'm not trying to like become a one to delve into politics or something where illusion would come more into play. More just looking to fight.
Right. I'm not here to be a trickster. I find myself in a situation dangerous to me. Okay. And what is the ask? Is it like, what should I do?
Yeah, it's more like how does one go about this? What are the proper steps? It was not covered in the. It was not covered in your teachings. I wish to change
my path.
Yeah.
Yeah. Cool. Okay. Good. All right. So you write that down, prepare the letter, and then I guess you like give it to a servant to have it.
It's probably like 10 or 15 pages, like thick.
Okay, so you're at this for a while. Yeah. So while you're writing, and Berg is looking at you like, "Hey, that's an F. That's also an F. That one's a P. It looks like an F, but it's like a bird."
Yeah.
Kalimat and Ramus, you out in the hall.
Yeah.
You wish to speak with me?
Yes, You were very honest in there with us. You told us this thing that was you didn't have to, and that for the first time probably make me honestly trust you now. And I haven't been quite honest with you about some things. I don't know if Maud is dead. I just know I couldn't find her. She could still be out there. And I just thought you should know that. So she might still be there. But the chances aren't good because the city is a war zone. And two, I didn't need this. And I pull out 50 gold coins. I didn't need this to cast a spell. I was trying to pull one over on you. And I'm sorry. And you can have these back.
I snag the gold from him, add it to my collection.
And do you happen
and
to
as I'm
look at
kind of
them?
like counting out the gold pieces and I'm putting them in my bag and stuff, and I say, Ramus, not only do I forgive you, but I'm sorry, did we lose sound?
No, I can hear you.
Oh, okay. JP muted himself.
Yeah.
Not only do I forgive you, but my eyes have been opened. In this past day, I found that I am not in control of my own fate. All the choices I make are made for me. So, you were right, and I was wrong. And I feel like I should apologize to you for leaving the group, for looking down on you for anything you've ever done. I know what I must do now, and I will follow your lead.
That's great to hear, and I appreciate that, but you seem very troubled by that revelation. But
I was.
I'll tell you something.
You're being really weird right now.
I'll tell you something about the Arcana and your path. The Arcana do lay out a path for you, but you can stray from it. You just occur Dharma by doing so, but you are able to stray from your path. They set a path before you, but you have to walk it. There is some leniency.
Oh yes, I'm aware of these things, but how is one to know which one is the right path and which one is the dharmic path? Is there a way to know?
Sometimes you have to go based on what feels right or what feels bigger than you, like a choice that is beyond you and helps everyone. Or sometimes being selfish can help you and others. I'm an expert at that one, by the way.
It sounds like a long answer for no.
Well, there are ways around heaven's rules. Like, I don't think I'm supposed to be here. And I wink at you. And I walk away. And as you're counting the coins, you may, whether coincidence or not, but every coin is the coin side up, the emperor down as you're counting.
That's good. I like that. Yeah, taking advice from Ramus Krill, the soulless priest. He's a complicated man. So Sully, you write your dissertation about the failings of illusion magic.
Yeah.
But in a way that like another turtle would totally understand. Like this isn't necessarily unusual.
Yeah.
This is just like you got to get the details in there.
I think also at the end I like make a specific section to where it looks kind of like a completely different part of the letter, that it's more to I don't know how, we haven't really talked about like Turtle Society, but it's to like the upper echelon of whoever the ruler is, or the ruler, king, or however it's situated. We got to think
the high turtle.
Yeah, the high turtle.
Yeah.
That basically says like, hey, they're gonna awaken, the sleeping mountain. Just letting you guys know that you might have some ramifications in other parts.
Right, because you know well enough, and that turtles would have studied that like all the world is connected, all the ley lines run together eventually, and if you yank on one, even in Turtle Town, far away, there might be ripples. So yeah, it's a good warning to send home.
Also, I note that it would surely lead to the fall of the desert turtle town. In some fashion,
it could very negatively affect them.
Yeah.
Good thought to warn them about that for sure.
Yeah, and I think if Berg, you're like, are you over my shoulder as I'm writing all this?
Yeah, probably intermittently here and there. Yeah.
Yeah, if you have any questions, I'm like, I tell you exactly what I'm writing. Like, there's no secrets or anything.
Yeah, I think Berg's just kind of looking for his own curiosity, especially once he noticed like, oh, I can kind of make out an F there or a P.
Yeah.
Cool.
I think that's actually really cute. Like Berg being like, "Why are you writing about sausages?" I'm like, that's not what that word means, Berg. It's different. It's a different thing.
Yeah. That's shield, not sausages. It's very similar characters. Then I finish and I go to Hassan's offices, or whoever, the servant, etc.
Yeah, he's got an assistant that will take your letter. They're like, oh, you have a letter and you pass them the pile of papers. Like, oh, all right, I'll handle this. Thanks for that big pile of papers.
Yeah.
And they will send it for you.
Okay.
And then the group of you are back together after having your sort of side conversations. What do you want to do? You have some time if you need it to sort of prepare before you set out into the city. What's the plan? What do you want to do?
Ramus, with where we're going, is there any, I don't know, magical preparation that one can do to ward off the devil, as it were? I don't know much about that arcana.
Ward off the devil, but the devil's holy. Why would you want to ward that off? What a silly phrase.
I see my mistake in phrasing that, yes. You know what? It doesn't matter. We'll be fine. It's fate, right, Kalimant, as you've been saying?
Absolutely.
Yes.
Kalimant embracing
So,
that
are we
YOLO
off then?
life. Well, so as you pose that question, Kalimant, where you're like, all right, let's go. A young priest approaches and without like making eye contact with any of you, like looking at the floor, looking very nervous, walks up and says, Father Krill, you requested information about the tower, the temple of the sun.
Yes. Why are you so nervous, boy?
It's just, Father, I haven't, it's just that I've heard so much about you. And he, like, looks up at you, his eyes all, like, big and anime. Yeah, I've never met a hero of the tower before.
Ah, to stand in glory. Must be great for you, I imagine. To be in our presence.
He nods. This is a time of great and terrible destruction. I am blessed to be in your presence. And he turns and he says, and you as well, Berg. They call of you the Destructor in the lower city, and raise homage to your ways, your great hammer. And he like kind of trails away like, God, I'm freaking out right now.
Well, if you give us... Go ahead, Berg.
Go ahead, Ramus. Whatever. You're gonna do it anyways.
Well, if you give us your report, I will have Berg give you his blessing.
Well, Father, we're loath to make move upon the Temple of the Sun, for they have not stood in our way as yet. They're on the list, of course, but as with the rest of the city, it is expected that they will fall when the plan is committed to, when Hazan finishes the great ritual after the sacrifice, which I understand you're to be a part of.
Mm-hmm. Yes, it's a great holy sacrifice. It'll be a great honor to be there.
Yeah. Yes. So, the temple is, you can just see him like just I don't know what, and he's just losing it. He's just like falling away into his like worship of you.
Berg just like looks at him for a second, like the guy, and then like starts showing his arm.
Yeah, right. And he's
like just to
he's
see
like
if
in the
there's
presence
reaction.
of heroes, right? So he's just kind of like wide-eyed and just staring.
Berg would be quite disappointed if you failed to give the report to him. That would be a real shame.
There is no one remaining to defend the Temple of the Sun, which is why we have not yet made moves upon them. For a time, justice was protecting them, but after the fall of the Magician's Tower, they withdrew. If you wanted, I'm sure the Factor Militant would give you troops with which to invade the temple and to strike them down with holy lightning, as you do. I've heard.
Well, we could at least try talking with them first. No reason to kill when they could serve the tower's purpose.
We've
But I'll take
many. We've sent many priests to speak with them, but as you can imagine, they're priests of the sun, Father. They're so hopeful and joyous and full of light.
pious and yeah.
God, the thought of it disgusts me, sir.
It is quite gross. I had to deal with that
Gross
stuff.
indeed. He nods.
But thank you for your report. So they are without a defense. They're vulnerable.
There are those among them that have some divine power, certainly, and I would not discount their ability to defend their temple. We priests can be tenacious when threatened, like badgers. But still, no match for you and heroes of your caliber. He like looks at Berg like, yo, y'all are huge. Please sign my codex.
Well, very well. Thank you for your report, young man. Berg, go ahead and bless the boy.
Berg just like looks at Ramus like, "Yo, what the fuck?"
Give him your blessing.
You, you did well. And live long enough. And you might be like us.
Berg, you touch his head. That's where the blessing goes.
That's where it goes.
Berg like takes his stone arm and like, you know, like just goes like tap, tap.
Okay. Oh, okay. Before you even touch him, he passes out. So you like reach out. You reach out to bless him, like, and before your hand even touches his sweaty forehead, he just eyes roll back and he just fucking flops onto the floor like a limp noodle. Just, yeah, he just can't even handle it, and he passes out on the floor.
Was that fun for you, Ramus?
What? I just want to see what the blessing of Lord Berg looked like. You probably made his year, though. I'm sorry, Berg. I find it funny.
I'm not a lord, Ramus.
I know. Lords tend to be horrible, disgusting people that do that to you, and I point to your scar of where your bracer was.
Ramus told me to call him the Lord Commander, Ramus Krill. By the way.
Makes sense.
Well, I've always wanted to lead an army.
Now, what are we doing? Kali? You?
Oh, I am not the leader of this group. I'm ready to follow.
Nope. Not what I was saying.
Oh, go ahead then. I apologize.
Have you rested? Look, a little
I'm tired.
worried.
I'm tired, but I feel all right.
All right. Ramus, do you want to go visit the sun?
Well, they may have stuff we need. Information, knowledge about our enemies, including the Farang.
What sort of information?
The archives of the sun are not as good as the magician, but they love to keep documents of the past. How I learned to speak the broken language of those things. I used to spend hours.
So
hours.
The temple of the sun has a particularly strong presence in the Court of Swords. The idea of like the dawning light, and because of the place in the world where the sun rises, its rays first touch the Court of Swords. So they kind of consider themselves like blessed by the sun. It's not the official like state religion, but it's certainly very important there. And the Court of Swords named the Farang. They were the first to encounter them, and their historians and monks are the ones that carry all of the like information about the Farang's influence throughout history. So yeah, they're a great place to go if that's the information you're looking for. They also really, really, really hate the Mara, and if that's something you're interested in learning more about, they would have information material about that too.
What time of day is it? It's like still early, right? Because he like woke up, right?
Yeah,
And then had this talk and all that. So
like early afternoon, like it's brunch time.
Well,
We could go over there and ask to peruse their library. And if they say no, we have a second option.
Which is
Kill them.
What?
Well, take them prisoner and kill them later.
Oh, but why kill them later when you can just kill them now?
Well, some might change their allegiance over time.
Berg's like looking at Kali while he's
Recruiting.
doing this.
Kalimat's
Berg's
going
just, like,
through some
staring
shit.
at him.
Berg, make an insight check.
Yeah. Even Berg can recognize something's weird with him.
Yeah,
Or
right?
not.
Like with a
No, we're
9.
not.
I mean, with a 9, Kalimat, you tell. I mean, tell us what Berg would be able to figure out about what's going on with Kalimat, because we can all tell you're being a little different. But
Give me the degree of success. Like low, medium.
well, it's up to you. It's totally up to you. Like I generally assume.
Okay.
I generally assume that a 10 is the baseline for success, but
Okay, I'll give you a
like
vague.
7 to 9 might be impressions.
I'll just like a vague idea. Like it's kind of a weird thing, and you can tell me, Adam, if this counts. But when you look at Kalimat, you see like there's no sparkle in his eye anymore. Like there's no like life in the eyes that they're used to, or there's less life in the eyes that there used to be.
Like a pearl that's lost its luster.
Exactly.
Yeah. Okay. Something has changed. He's not the effusive creature he once was.
I don't think
for some
Berg
reason.
says anything. He's just staring at him and just notices like something's going on with you. Keep an eye on that. That's it.
So, to the sun, won't they remember you, Ramus?
Well, maybe.
Might be a problem for them, really. But
Well, it depends on how many from the Court of Swords are here. Maybe no one. I don't know.
perhaps Berg and Ramus could stay outside while me and Kalimat go inside. Sure that would be okay. Kalimat, you haven't made any enemies at the within
You
the
might
sun,
be able to
right?
talk your way in.
Well, I think my skills would be better used to procure a key, maybe break into a vault. Are we doing these things separately of each other, or are we doing one and then the other? Which one is more imperative?
But we're simply going to the
Well, the sun is right here next to us. It's only a block away.
Oh, okay. And the vault of the devil, right? That's where we're going?
Mm-hmm.
ultimately.
It's like way across
Yeah, it's
town.
somewhere in the lower city. It's more hidden away.
Oh, so
Who-
it would be
What characters
journey.
were present? What characters were present when you last interacted with the cult of the devil back in Mong Vuat? That was Berg and Ramus, I think.
Just
Ramus
Berg.
was there for some of that.
I think it was Berg and Azrael, wasn't it?
I forget.
Yeah, I'm
It
just
was
trying to
back
remember
during
because it was like
the-
a longer.
That was
I
back
think-
during the what were they called again? Was it
Just Berg.
Tianxi? Is that the right thing?
Oh, the angel?
Yep.
Well, we the angels,
Arc?
yeah.
Yeah, I think it's just Berg now because I don't think Ramus ever got there. He died in between.
That's right.
like,
Okay.
And
Berg,
so did
Gale, Azrael. Yeah.
Volnok.
Okay.
Well,
so,
Volnok visited, but then he
A lot of death in that
So
valley.
Berg, you remember grasping hands, and his like gangster cult in the fortress town,
Mhm.
and kind of what those guys were like.
Yep.
So that recalls to you, like, you know why the devil would dwell in the lower city.
Yeah. It also says then, recalling that, just like,
we can handle the devils But before we go, I want to make sure I'm ready.
And Berg like kind of goes like this, you know?
Maybe we go to the sun, do that, rest, and then set out for the devil.
It's fine with
I'm
me.
tired of fighting while tired.
You're tired of being tired. I understand.
Hmm.
We will have to waste a day, though.
Waste.
Berg looks like pointedly at Sally.
We will not spend all day at the sun, with the sun people.
Then we can come back and get drunk for all I care.
I don't drink.
Jump in a puddle of water.
That sounds fun. Well, we'll deal with it afterwards. Let's go across the street.
All right. Yeah, I guess we set out.
So, what exactly are we going to do there? Going to walk in, convince them to let us have a look at your books because it's for the good of all, or
So the
maybe something
sun,
else.
the sun is the arcana of understanding, of shining a light into darkness, having intellectual breakthroughs, realizing the truth. They are aligned with the figuring out of riddles and puzzles. The sun is a heroic arcana. Heroes will make offerings to the sun before undertaking dangerous tasks. The sun shines forth brilliantly upon those who achieve greatness. It is a vital and enthusiastic church. It is an arcana of joy and invigoration, and of being true to oneself, feeling confident and striding forth into the earth like the sun rising upon the plains. You can see which aspects of this religion Ramus took to heart and which he did not. And so they're very much like what you would expect, kind of like the lawful good, like paladin type cleric to worship. They're all going to be kind of straightforward. Subterfuge is not the sun's jam. They are hopeful and effusive. So just so you know, kind of what you're going into.
So just like me, basically.
Yeah, basically just like Ramus. Totally.
Would they be against what's happening with the fraying in the town and the
because like
heresy and
destroying the
stuff?
city is like destroying the city is like giving up. They are absolutely philosophically opposed to the tower and the tower's destruction armada of hate and ruin. Definitely. They're not into it.
Are they allied with any other arcana? Like not allied per se, but like friendly, like on good terms with like justice or something.
Make a religion check.
Okay. Well, I'll just ask Ramus. Ramus, are the sun allied with any of the other arcana? Like friendly with them?
Somebody can make that check. I don't care who.
Yeah.
No, that's why I asked him so he can make the check and I wouldn't have to.
17.
Okay. I mean, like the Arcana have no personal willpower of their own. There's no god to like say like, you know, I'm Thor and I don't like Loki and my dad is Odin. It's like the churches, so it's motivated politically. You're most familiar with the Court of Swords and how they worked, and most of the other Arcana kind of followed in the sun's footsteps and were like, yeah, we'll do this. The sun and the moon have always had a good relationship, because they're both two sides of the same coin. So they're probably friends. I feel like let me look at the like order of the Arcana, because they have the closest relationships any Arcana have are with the ones next to them. So let me see. Major Arcana.
Judgment and the moon.
The sun, the sun is bounded by The Moon and Judgment. Yep. So Judgment's an angle because Judgment is friends with the Tower.
Mm-hmm.
So there's a
Well,
relationship there.
They are friendly with Judgment, and Judgment is currently helping us. There might be a way to lean on there.
Well, I think all I would need is, well, a backstory and a robe of judgment.
And they love to help people solve inner riddles and puzzles that they can't solve. If you're seeking guidance for the Farang and knowledge on their, you need their libraries to figure out that goal. You will tingle their balls. They will love that shit.
All right. Then I don't need an outfit of judgment. I can just go there and ask them to look at their books to see what lies in the riddle of the Farang.
Tingle their balls. Why would he do that?
You'll need Sally with you, too. He will know what to look for.
I'm not looking for balls, Ramus.
So,
Knowledge.
What
knowledge,
is the sun if not an enormous ball?
so we do not need any sort of subterfuge or play acting to get in there. They will just let us in.
Well, you'll have to make it seem like they're your hero. You are helping them. They're helping you, that you need their knowledge. They feed on that.
Do you think the sun would see the Farang out of the Brass City? If they could?
The Sun are heroes, and they want to remove all villains. They don't agree with what we're doing here, but they don't like the Farang either. The Farang are killing and murdering people in the streets and kidnapping people. They don't like that either.
Ah. Well, good. I think I have an idea of what to do. What particular volumes of books are we looking for? Just anything with information upon them?
Yes, there's lots of archaeological studies of ruins from the past. There's stories, fables that once upon a time were just fairy tales, but there might be truth in some of them. There could be studies on the ancient languages of this long lost language and stuff. Anything really that could help us.
So, if I posed them a puzzle as to the origin of the Farang, and we are in search of that knowledge of where the origin of the Farang, what the origin of the Farang are, and to know thy enemy is to be better equipped to defeat them. Would that pique their interest or tickle their balls, so to speak?
Indeed, it would.
Excellent. Would I need to? Do they respect anybody? If I was, say, to dress as a noble or a priest or anything like that, should I come to them as a peasant looking for information, or should I come to them from a place of power, or would they reject that?
The more powerful you make them feel, the better.
Perfect.
If you are weak, and they are strong, and they are your hero.
I can do that.
Great. Do you wish me to be there? Well, someone has to read the books. Never mind. Dumb question.
Yeah, I mean, getting access to the temple's library would be pretty good, Sully.
Yeah.
There's probably lots of useful information.
Might tingle your balls.
Yeah. Turtles don't have
right.
balls.
Tingle your turtle
Might
balls.
tingle your shell. Or what is it? The cloaca, whatever it is.
Cloaca, yeah.
Yeah. That's always
Tingle your
tingling.
cloaca.
Before we
Tingle
go,
your
though,
shingle.
Before we go, though, Berg, you've spoken with this being that inhabits your mind or your weapon, or I don't know how it works. You've spoken to him about the Farang, and have this thing given you any pertinent information, or is it all just unnecessary?
Say again.
Does the voice or has the voice told you anything that we could use against the Farang? Or could you ask it?
Not that I can remember. It says we can help. The best way to help fight the Farang is the fountain in heaven. If you have a question, I can ask, but don't ask too much. Well, whatever. It hurts a little when I do this, and not headaches, pressure, whatever.
I understand. Well, I guess one question would suffice. What are the Farang?
Some say I just kind of like go into a long conversation.
Yeah, I mean, like it's a good question, right? Like, Ramus, you know, the entities known as the Farang are very much like fairy stories. The stealer of children. A kid will grow up weird, and someone will be like, an outsider took my real child and gave me this Farang instead, right?
Mm-hmm.
The stories in your monastery were of like ancient visitors. This is very much some, like, I don't want to say aliens built the pyramid, but aliens. Like shit. Yeah. That's very much the stories that your monastery heard from the peasants and collected. And some of these like elder writings, strange etchings on tablets that you would find over the course of years that match up. So it's not like total poppycock, but there's some truth to it. Sully, you would probably have next to no personal connection or knowledge about that. I think Portal Town is far enough removed from the world at large.
Right.
But like observing the stars from a great distance, there are maybe occasional strange and unexplainable magical ripples that the arcanologists of Portal Town would have observed, right? The dark matter of the universe, this sort of like phenomenological study, rather than looking at individual objects themselves. So there's like the archaeology of the church that Ramus belonged to. You have some idea about that stuff. Berg, the Farang, you only have your personal connection to them, your personal like interaction with what you've seen so far.
Mm-hmm.
And then when Kalimat says, "What are the Farang?" Berg, what do you do? Do you try to like
Berg's just like,
ask that of Tulpa?
Well, did you hear them?
Make a wisdom saving throw, please, Berg. To access Tulpa's knowledge about these things.
I shall
Big roll.
access his knowledge.
Big roll.
Big fails.
Nailed that with an 8.
So where you reach out into the darkness of your mind where you know Tulpa dwells, you find only a sharp pain that drives you to want to recoil into your rage. Like it's like reaching out into the dark and stabbing your hand on something, right? Like you're like, well, and then you feel like a splitting pain that makes you angry. Suddenly you feel that well up.
You see,
and everybody
Berg,
else, what does everybody see Berg do? Yeah.
Yeah, Berg's like,
Berg? You okay?
I take it he didn't give you the answer you desired.
If he does that again, you may find you will not be with me very long.
So he's not answering you.
Yeah, so
No.
Ramus and Sully, as you watch this conversation, it occurs to both of you separately that often people who are possessed need help, either through religious exorcism or through trance states or through drugs or something to like access deep hidden things within their psyche.
Right.
Both of you independently have some thoughts about how you might be able to help Berg go into that dark place and find his passenger. But for now, it seems like it's just hurting him trying to get in there.
Right. I think we look at each other. We just kind of nod. All in due time, Ramus.
Yes. We can help you, Berg. It's draining you incredibly to speak to this thing inside of you. It's draining you, basically, of life in order to sustain itself. At least if it's like other things we've encountered.
But it gives him so much power.
That's the trade-off. That's why Berg is allowing it.
For now.
Well, it seems like we're not going to get any answers out of Tulpa, and the gods are away on business.
They always
So
are.
let's follow our path and head up to the sun. Here, and I start unbuckling my pouch, my bag, and my knives and backpack and shit. And I start grabbing like dirt and shit off the ground and kind of rubbing it on myself a little bit.
Okay. So you want to disguise yourself as an itinerant peasant?
Yeah.
Okay. All right. Do you have the disguise disguise kit?
I have the disguise kit.
Do it. Kit. Handfuls of dirt. I like it. All right. Make that roll.
Okay. Oh, attribute. Charisma, right?
Yeah.
Yeah. 22.
All right. You definitely look like a filthy peasant. You've done it.
Awesome.
Kalimat
Was it
stands
hard?
before you. An image of sodden sadness. Yeah, you look like the kind of person who would need help from a temple.
Now, do peasants have different speech patterns? Is it a lower form, a lower
So
class
when
of
we talk
speech?
about there's almost no peasants in the city in the traditional sense of what the actual word peasant means, like a serf, like someone who farms. You would not be that. You could look like an urchin or a hobo. That's much easier. A poor person, a street garbage. That's easy. You just are dirty and smell bad
Right.
and don't have belongings and come
Right.
looking for alms.
What I want it to know is if they have like a poorer person's dialect.
I don't know, what languages do you speak?
I speak Draconic, Common, Dwarvish, and Orcish.
Yeah, I mean, I think you don't look enough like you. There's no way you could pass for an orc.
Fuck, that's right. Yeah.
So yeah, I think it's just you just speak common. You've common from wherever you're from.
Okay. I'm going to make myself look like I've been through the ringer, but just because of what's going on here, not because I'm poor, but because everything is
Of course,
fucked
yeah,
and-
like a war refugee. Yeah,
exactly.
it's not
And I'm
actually
going
that
to
hard
try-
because, as I was gonna say, as Chat pointed out, you haven't slept. You spent all night drinking and walking through the city, so you're
right.
probably a little ripe and smell a bit of booze. So yeah,
Gross
you're
as
well on
fuck.
your way. Yeah.
Well, I want to give off the impression that I am a displaced scholar of some sort. So I am downtrodden. I've been put out of my home and all that kind of stuff, but I want to give off the air of intelligence.
Right, a temporarily embarrassed academic rather than someone who has always been a filthy peasant.
Well, yeah, so I look like someone who would actually maybe you could use the knowledge that I seek.
Right. Okay. Got it. So not just like a filthy peasant that shows up at the temple and is like, "Hey, I need to research the Farang."
Right, exactly.
Okay. All right. That's fine. And are you going to the temple alone?
I'll bring Sally Hoffa.
Okay. Sounds good. All right.
So,
the Temple to the Sun is ostentatious. It is a beautiful, enormous building of ivory, marble, and gold. It is clean despite the ash hanging in the air. It is veritably humming with the sound of prayer from within, and there are people gathered around outside. You can see on the steps these like beautiful like Grecian kind of stone steps. You see white togaed priests and priestesses giving out like bread and water to those who come to ask for the sun's light. And there's just this crowd of people into which you blend relatively easily.
All right.
Can I just approach the temple?
Yep. Continue up into the
Okay. Yeah, you're intercepted by a young man, who his head is shorn. He's dressed much like the monks of the Arcana all dress kind of similarly. They all have kind of like a Buddhist monk sort of jam. So he's wearing like saffron robes. They're rolled up, and the ankle and knees of the robes are threadbare. Like he looks like he's a monk that puts in work. He's got his sleeves rolled up, and he has on one arm a very, very faded tattoo. You can't make out what it is, but it's like long faded from exposure to the sun. And as you approach, he makes eye contact with you, and he approaches, and he says,
I kind of look down as he catches my eyes.
Okay.
I'm wearing glasses as well, so it looks, at least I can afford glasses.
Okay. Cool. So he sees your glasses and he grabs your underwear by the back and yanks it as hard up as he can. And then he pushes you down the stairs, pointing and laughing. And then somebody gives you a swirly. So as you approach, you like look away. Are you trying to like be coy, like demure, like I'm like a sad, pathetic loser?
Well, I'm coming to ask him for something, so I want to be humble.
Okay, so you're humming, and he says to you, you there? No need to look away. This is the temple of the sun, whose light shines upon all, friend. Come, we have food and drink.
And
he
you
turns
see me
one
like
of their monks, and he takes
look up
some
with
like a bowl of rice. Yeah. No, this is happening while you're approaching. So he takes a bowl of rice from another monk and holds it out to you, like, "Hey, don't worry, come on up here."
You see Kalimat look up with like this just face that's seen too many horrors, but there's a smile forming on his face because this is like such kindness is rare these days. Thank you.
And
thank you very much.
He sees the smile and he says, there we are. Eat, nourish the body, feed the soul. Come, sit with me a moment, friend. And he like pats the marble stone and sits down.
May my friend partake and sit with me. That's him right there, the turtle-looking fellow.
He looks up.
I'm looking right next to a building, just kind of scanning it up and down, completely clueless to what's happening.
And he says, of course, all are welcome under the sun's holy light.
Excellent. Sully Hoffa.
He gestures to you, Sully, like you're an animal. Like he's like, come here. Don't be afraid. Come on, boy.
Yes, Kali?
This good priest of the sun has offered us food, and I suggest you come and taste it. It is quite good. We humbly, and I kind of look at Sully Hoffa. We humbly accept.
Okay.
And I start eating it, like handfuls of it. Just
yeah, he does that thing, Sully, where he holds out a bowl of rice to you, and he says like, come on, come sit down, and gestures to the stone, like holding the bowl of rice.
Yeah, I feed into it. I sit down and very happily grab the food from his hand.
He turns to you, Kalimat, the priest, the monk, and he says, "Your friend speaks the common tongue. Did you teach this to him?"
Oh, no. He may not look it. He may have a very strange look to us, but I assure you, he is as smart or smarter than anyone you've ever met. He comes from a faraway land. Tell him, Salihafa.
I do know things. Yes. I grab some more rice.
Right, like, yes, I do.
Just selling me out, you fucking asshole.
And he...
I do you
The-
like
the
give
monk-
me a
the
look
monk-
after I say that, Kali? Like you're pissed off at me?
Maybe, yeah. I think, yeah.
Okay.
Not too pissed, but just like, it's more of like, come on, dude.
Okay.
Like, you're not helping.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So,
What's the guy do?
he scratches his stubbly chin and he looks at you. He's fascinating. What wonders are delivered to us by the light of the sun, even in such dark times as these? How find yourself in these places? What brings you to the temple of the sun, friend?
We come
He
seeking
he
knowledge.
leaves that thing like. Wait, he looks for your name. Are you gonna like introduce yourself, or are you just like, no, give me the knowledge?
Oh, I didn't. Oh, yeah. Okay, body language. Got it. Okay, or speech
yeah,
patterns.
that pause.
You know,
That pause is like.
Gotcha. Kalimat, and this is Salihafa.
This is,
Yes, as to your question, we are here seeking knowledge and guidance. The temple, as you know, of the temple of the magician has been sacked. It is razed to the ground. We
terrible thing that. Lost.
we
to us
tried
all.
going there first, and our second option was here. You know the plague, the creatures, the beings plaguing the city, the ones that build the giant ziggurats in the middle and destroy everything they see.
I have been blessed enough to not have to witness such horrors firsthand. But there are those in our temple who are aware of these creatures, yes. I hope you have not had to face them yourself.
I have
My dear
fled.
boy. And he like puts a hand on your shoulder like, oh, you poor thing. They're there.
Hmm. And you see like Salihafa's eyes start to like well up with tears.
You got that crocodile tears going on.
Just like it was awful. Everything in their path was destroyed. My house, my research, everything. I happened.
Make a deception check as you tell this tall tale.
Okay.
Boy, oh boy, oh boy.
13.
Oh, that's not great. All right, let's see if he believes you.
Okay.
Let's see.
I have a
Roll
plus
actually
7
here.
to that.
Roll.
Damn it.
Roll a d6 for me, Zeke.
Okay.
See how venerable this guy is. Oh, all right. Okay, so he is a proper priest. Let me find his
Damn it.
stat block here. So a priest has a
Plus
wisdom
3, plus 4.
of plus 3. Yeah, there we go.
Yep.
So I gotta beat a 13. See if he sees through your lies. So you're like, my house, my things, whatever. And he's not just like, get out, liar. But he says to you, he's like, "Oh, a moment, friend." And he stands up. He says, I think I hear one of the acolytes calling me. Please. And he like gestures like, eat of the rice. I will return. And you see him go up the steps, and he's walking towards like there's an armed like a guy, like a temple guard, and he's just making a beeline towards this temple cop. Like, I think these guys are trouble. We should probably do something about this. And he's just like he's very polite with you. He's just like, oh, excuse me a moment, sir, and starts like making his way over there.
Do we
Well,
have?
we tried.
we have
tried
enough-
deception.
Yeah. Do we
Now
have
the
enough?
truth.
Do we have enough time to make a reaction before he talks to the guard?
Oh yeah, of course. Yeah, totally.
I go. I'm like eating the rice slowly, and I go. Would you like me to help?
No, I think it's time for the truth, or at least most of it.
I just continue eating the rice.
You're like, oh.
I run after him. Sir, I'm sorry. I've lied. Will you hear
And
me
he
out?
turns, and the look on his face is very different now. And he's like 2 steps above you, so he looks down at you, and he's like so sneering. He's like, "We have no time for lies here at the Temple of the Sun, whose light is truth. I gave you rice. How dare you?"
My
The
mouth is
times
just
that we
stuffed
live
with rice.
in, the times that we live in require desperation and desperate measures, and I apologize that I was not straightforward with you. My name is, in fact, Kalimot. This is my friend Salihafa. We are in search of knowledge, that much is true. And we are in search of knowledge about the Farang. That much is also true. I do not live here, but we seek the same thing, and I thought if I fed you a bitter pill laced with honey, that it would go down easier. The truth is, we are looking to defeat the Farang. But in order to do that, we need to know about them. We need to know where they came from, any stories about them, their history, any weaknesses that we can exploit, so that we may exterminate them, or at least get them to leave the city of Brass. That is why we were truly here.
Make a persuasion check at disadvantage.
Okay.
Do you have inspiration? Oh. That's a 1.
So he looks at you and he says, "A likely story. Guards!" And I think that's where we cut out. As he shouts for the guards, come and protect him from you and
I
your
like him.
lying
He's
turtle
right.
friend.
Yeah.
God. I love sucking at everything I'm good at. Fuck, man.
Oh, man. It's true. It's true. Rough times. All
Why
right.
with disadvantage? Oh,
You
because
failed the
of
first
Because
time.
you lied to him.
Yeah.
Yeah, you failed the
Yeah.
first time.
Yeah.
All right, let's do some shout outs and we'll figure out how the fuck we're going to get out of another jail cell. I hope we go to prison and I'm just still eating rice. Like, I haven't moved at all. They've just somehow picked me up and all I've done is eat rice and say one thing.
Yeah,
here.
come along. They pick you up by your arms. You're just-
Yeah. All right, let's do some shout outs. We'll go in reverse order here. Dan, why don't you start us off today?
All right. I am DansGaming / DansGaming on Twitch, variety streamer. This was a fun episode. I like that we got a lot of story stuff, and we haven't like moved more than like 30 feet from where we started in the episode.
Right.
All in one spot the whole time. And so much has happened, and some big story stuff. We're starting to like learn more about the Farang and stuff. So I'm excited to see what happens next week. Thank you for having me on the show.
Thanks for being here. Zeke, do some shout outs, good sir.
Yo, everybody. Ezekiel the Third here. You can find me on Twitch, Twitter, and YouTube, all at Ezekiel_I. I want to thank Dan, Max, JP, and Adam for making this something I look forward to every week, and something that I will rush from 2 states away to come do. I will be broadcasting tomorrow after Drop Frames. I'm still in the middle of the Yakuza, I guess, franchise playthrough that I've been doing. I'm doing 5. I've just got into the cool, I've got out of the boring Saejima stuff, and now I get to play a 16-year-old girl who wants to be a pop idol. So that's gonna be a lot of fun.
Nice.
That's what's going on now, and then we'll play through that, and then we'll eventually hit up the new Yakuza 6. So that's all I got. Thank you.
Good stuff. Mr. GassyMexican, give us some disappointment.
It's a sad face.
There's no hurdy-gurdy. They didn't fucking deliver it. Fuck you, USPS, you suck.
Yeah.
It's supposed to come today.
Yeah.
So yeah. Anyways, I'm GassyMexican. I do stuff if you want to watch me. Yay. All there.
Oh man, it's so pathetic.
Hey, Max, did you see that the U.S. government gave everyone an extra day to do their taxes?
I did see that because apparently they had like an issue.
Yeah. Thought
See,
that
I
was
was
funny.
prepared. Yeah, that was funny too. No hurdy-gurdy, and the government, apparently, I wasn't in that, whatever, I don't want to talk about it. Just get the camera off. Get it off.
Last but not least, Adam, do some shout-outs, and then we'll do some goals and XP for today.
Max has learned that most eternal truth of the tower, and that there is no fucking hurdy-gurdy. It's just not to be had, and you'll get it, and it won't be as good as you wanted it to be, and that's how life is. But that's okay. Thanks for coming, everybody. You can find me on Twitter at skinnyghost or twitch.tv/AdamKoble. I think after the show today, I'm going to play some Eye of the Beholder, which is an old-ass D&D game that I downloaded recently, and I really want to play, so I'm just going to play it. So you can come along and help me be miserable, because those old games are brutal. In the meantime, if you are not already all excited about the new Starts Without Number campaign, which will have a name real soon, go to RollPlay, go to the Patreon. Go to patreon.com/RollPlay and sign up, because then you can play along. You can join a faction, do all that nerdy stuff JP was talking about at the beginning of the session. We'll have lots of cool Starts Without Number related content leading up to the show, starting on Saturday. Also, I posted a Q&A thread, as I always do. So Q&A thread 71 is up. I'll put that in the chat. So go and ask me questions, and we will see you next time.
Good stuff. Yeah, I've already been getting propaganda, literal propaganda for all these factions throughout the day on my Twitter. So,
Yeah, it's good stuff.
Yeah, I'm thrilled for more spam. Let's
listen, JP. It's called audience engagement. And
yeah, no, I mean, this is great. I'm so thrilled for my audience engagement that is occurring.
Listen, this is what you get for Game of Space. All right, this is my revenge.
Dude, that was that was a good name. All right, Game of Space would have been the hottest show on Twitch. Think of the SEO.
Yeah,
people can't remember Game of Thrones; they would remember Game of Space.
You're the kind of guy who is like, we should make a Hollywood movie. What's popular right now? All right, let's just make a copy of that with less expensive actors. Let's do it. So you make those dollars.
It's gonna happen.
All right, what if nerds want some experience points?
Yeah. What if I just got a logo and everything? It was just Game of Space.
I honestly don't know what I would do. Like if you just fucking faked me out and you were like, here you go, Adam. Here's your like cool, thoughtful title you thought about making and put some effort into. These are the graphics, and then we go to the actual show, and you're like, here you go, and I'm like, hey, everybody, welcome to RollPlay.
Game of Space.
I probably wouldn't just quit, but I would afterwards. I'd be like, dude, what the fuck are you doing to me right now?
You have to have a come to Jesus with him.
Oh man! All right, yeah. Sorry, do XP.
Yeah, let's do it. Berg, I think you work towards finding out why bad things keep happening to you, because you explored your relationship with Tulpa and the tower. So 50 XP times your level for that. Do you want to keep the find mod goal, or do you want to get rid of that one, you think?
Doesn't seem like it's going to pop up anytime soon.
Yeah, like the goals are... There are opportunities for y'all to like choose that as a thing, but it doesn't feel like that's... I feel like... So do you want to take that one off for now?
I want to take it off for now, yeah.
Yeah, okay. Well, Ramus, the kid is no longer a problem then.
Yes.
Berg does not care right now about her. So let me calculate that XP for you.
So Dan's is like, come on, yeah, come on.
Yeah, give me that XP.
Give up, fucker, give up.
Give up.
Okay. What level are you, Ramus? 8?
8.
Okay. All right. So that one I think I had was hard. So that is 2,800 experience.
Nice.
We're getting Berg to give up just that little sliver of hope. Nice work. You did also work towards finding out about the Tulpa. So that's another 400. And then, did you find out? Do you feel you find out why Zahn left? Why he was in heaven? See that one?
Yeah,
I
think so. He's basically, it's bureaucratic stuff in heaven, and heaven's like going at war with itself.
Yeah, it doesn't have to be anything like huge. Like you got that one. I said that one is easy, so that means that's another 900 experience. So there you go.
I just got an extra 400, right, because of the learn why bad things keep happening.
Yes. Yeah.
Cool.
Okay. Sully, you found out why the ley lines are being tampered with. So that for you is you're level 6. Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay. That one was medium, so that gives you 1,200 experience.
Okay.
Okay. You work towards contacting Turtle Town, so that's another 300 experience.
And then make peace with Berg. Where are we at with that, Berg? We didn't really like talk about it, but you let me touch you.
I'm gonna say, yeah, you work towards it. You know, you let me look at the thing. You were being nicer. You know.
Okay.
I'd say you work
So
towards
it's another. All right. So 600 total plus resolving that goal.
Gotcha.
Right?
1800.
Work towards 2 and resolve it.
Oof. I'm close to the
okay.
ding.
And then Kalimat, you did indeed learn more about the star. So that is you're level 6 as well, right? So that one's 1,200.
Nice. Okay.
1,200 for that one.
Okay.
And then you're gonna. I assume you're not gonna do your secret one. You're gonna keep that one on board for now.
Oh, we're gonna leave that.
Okay.
Secrets.
Okay. Cool. All right. So I think that's.
And then
I think that's.
I'll
it.
find out what the prisoner was in the oubliette. Do you think I'm
Yeah,
working
you
towards it?
didn't really like work towards it. No.
Okay, okay.
But it's there. It's on the roster.
Okay.
Okay. Cool.
Cool.
Good stuff.
Ding for me as well.
Oh, nice. You leveled up?
Yeah.
Nice.
Yeah.
Hell yeah.
Oh, did some? I thought someone else did too.
No, I'm 700 away.
Okay.
Oh, not bad.
just
Cool.
100 over now. I'm 23.
2300.
23,000.
Yeah, grats. So are you gonna Are you taking another level of Bard, or are you gonna go back to dropping levels in Rogue?
You know, that's the funny thing. I'm not sure because I like to kind of look and weigh my options. So I'm gonna actually crack a book.
We'll talk about
think
that
about
in
it
the
in
show
between.
for sure. And we'll also make him roll his HP.
Okay.
All right, he's gonna roll his HP. Not now, during the post show.
Oh, during the post show?
Yeah, of course we're gonna fucking put a paywall. That's HP roll.
Right.
Don't give that shit away. For
Paywall's
free.
coming down.
Yeah.
Listen, if you're a roleplay patron, not only do you get to play the cool Stars Without Number show, but you get to watch Zeke fuck up his hit point rolls. So it's a win-win.
Hey, and who knows? Maybe I was lying, and you might see the hurdy-gurdy in the post show.
Oh yeah, post show hurdy-gurdy jams.
Shit,
Let's do it. All right, let's get the fuck out of here.
All right, we'll see you
Stop
next
giving
time.
away all this good content.
Yeah.
Are we sponsored by EA?
Yes. Yes, we are. This week brought to you by Electronic Arts. It's in the game. We'll see you next week. Tuesday, 6 o'clock Eastern. Bye-bye.